Hello there. Welcome back to another journey through the cosmos. I'm so glad you're here with me tonight, settling in for something truly magical. You know, I've been thinking about a question that maybe you've wondered about too, especially as a child lying in bed, watching the shadows in your room. Where does darkness actually go during the day? It doesn't just disappear, does it? The darkness that was just outside your window a few hours ago. Where is it now? Is it hiding? Is it waiting? Or is it doing something far more beautiful than we ever imagined? Tonight, we're going to follow darkness on its daily journey. And here's what's incredible. You're going to become a shadow yourself, experiencing firsthand where darkness retreats when the sun rises, how it tucks itself into the hidden corners of our world, and how it's always somewhere, wrapping other parts of Earth in its gentle embrace. And you know, if you're finding some comfort in these words already, if this idea of following darkness sounds peaceful to you, I'd be so grateful if you gently tap that like button. It really helps other restless souls find these stories. And if you haven't subscribed yet, maybe tonight's the night. There's a whole universe of sleep stories waiting for you. I'd also love to hear in the comments what mysteries of the world help you drift off to sleep. But no pressure at all. We're just here to relax together, to explore, to wonder. So let's begin by getting comfortable. And tonight's relaxation is special because you're going to start feeling what it's like to be a shadow. First, just notice where you are right now. The weight of your body against your bed. That's you, solid and real. But now imagine that with each breath out, you're becoming just a little bit lighter, a little bit softer, like a shadow lengthening at sunset. Feel your edges becoming gentle, not sharp or defined anymore, but soft and flowing. That tension in your shoulders, let it melt away like shadows melt into twilight. Your breathing is becoming the quiet whisper of darkness sliding across a wall. In and out, in and out. You're transforming now, becoming something that can slip through the tiniest spaces, something that can rest in the coolest corners, something that knows all the secret, quiet places of the world. Your shadow self is peaceful. It doesn't need to hold anything, doesn't need to carry any weight. It just flows. It just is. Perfect. You're ready now. Ready to discover one of Earth's most beautiful secrets. You see, every morning, as the sun begins to rise somewhere on Earth, darkness doesn't fight it. It doesn't run away in fear. Instead, it does something absolutely extraordinary. It begins a graceful retreat. A dance that's been happening for billions of years. And today, you're going to follow it. You're going to see where it goes. Right now, imagine it's just before dawn. You're a shadow resting on the eastern side of a quiet house. Maybe somewhere in Kansas or Ohio. Somewhere in the heartland of America. The sky is still that deep, deep purple black. Stars are still visible. Maybe Orion is setting in the west. But then, there, on the eastern horizon, the faintest glow begins. This is your cue. This is when your journey begins. As that first hint of light touches the sky, you feel yourself beginning to move. Not frantically, but with the practiced ease of something that's done this countless times before. You slide down from the wall, flowing like cool water. and you begin to look for the places where darkness can rest during the day. The first place you find is right beneath the very house where you were resting. There's a crawl space down there, cool and quiet, where the sun's rays will never reach. You slip through the tiniest crack in the foundation, and suddenly you're in a different world. A world where dozens of shadows have gathered, all of us refugees from the rising sun. Down here, it's perpetually twilight, the kind of gentle dimness that exists in the spaces humans rarely think about. The underside of floor joists create perfect shadow pockets. Pipes cast their own permanent darkness. And you realize, this is just one of millions of such spaces. Darkness hasn't gone anywhere. It's simply moved indoors, underground, underneath. But you're curious. You want to see more. So you flow out through another crack and find yourself in the garden. The sun is rising higher now, painting the tops of trees gold. But you know exactly where to go. You slip into a rabbit burrow, following it down, down, down into the earth. And what a world you discover here. A whole network of tunnels where darkness lives permanently, where creatures have built their entire lives in the gentle, constant night. You can feel the peacefulness here, the coolness, the quiet. This darkness isn't empty. It's full of life, full of purpose. It's been here all along, even at the brightest noon above. As you flow deeper through these underground passages, you're beginning to understand something profound. You're not just a shadow anymore. You're becoming darkness itself. And with this transformation comes an ancient knowledge, the knowledge of where to go when light arrives. Feel yourself spreading out now, becoming thinner, wider, seeping into the spaces between soil particles. You're discovering that Earth is never truly solid. It's full of tiny pockets, microscopic caves, each one a perfect sanctuary for darkness. Even in the brightest summer day, just an inch below the surface, you exist. You thrive. You rest. The sun is climbing higher above you now. You can sense it even down here. Not as light, but as a subtle warming of the upper layers of soil. But it can't reach you. It never can. You're safe in the embrace of the earth, and you're not alone. There are shadows here that have been underground for days, weeks, some even longer. The shadows cast by tree roots that grow deeper and deeper. They've been down here for years. Decades. These are the permanent residents of the underground darkness, and they welcome you like an old friend. You drift past an earthworm, and even this tiny creature carries its own shadow, a minuscule bit of darkness that travels with it through the soil. Everything that moves underground is surrounded by darkness, wrapped in it like a comfortable blanket. And you realize this is what darkness does during the day. It doesn't disappear. It goes underground. It burrows. It hides in the spaces we forget about. Now you're moving sideways through the earth, following an old mole tunnel. The mole who made this passage understood darkness perfectly, knew that down here day and night don't matter. It's always the same gentle, complete darkness. The mole's world is your world now, a world of touch and sound and smell, where light is not just unnecessary, it's irrelevant. You emerge into a larger space, an underground den where a family of foxes rests during the day. They're sleeping now. They're breathing slow and steady, and you wrap around them gently. You're the cool darkness that keeps them comfortable, that tells them they're safe, that holds them while they dream. This is another secret you're learning. Darkness doesn't just hide during the day. It serves a purpose. It provides sanctuary. It's the cool relief from summer heat, the gentle pressure that tells animals they're secure, the soft blanket that allows for rest, even when the world above is bright and busy. You continue flowing, spreading, exploring, and you find a crack that leads even deeper. Following it down, you enter something amazing, an underground stream, water that has never seen sunlight, not once in its entire existence. This water fell as rain maybe 100 years ago, seeped down through rock and soil, and has been flowing in complete darkness ever since. You merge with this underground river, becoming liquid darkness, flowing, always flowing. And you realize that there are entire rivers like this, underground lakes, vast aquifers, all existing in perpetual night. The water cycle has a dark side, literally, where water moves through Earth's body in complete darkness. As you flow with this hidden stream, you're joined by other shadows, the darkness that was hiding in caves, in basements, in the spaces under fallen logs. All of you flowing together now, a river of shadows moving through the earth. And it's so peaceful, so quiet. Just the gentle sound of water over rock, a sound that hasn't changed for millions of years. The stream leads you to something extraordinary, a vast cave system, and suddenly you understand that you've entered one of Earth's great sanctuaries of permanent darkness. Mammoth Cave, maybe, or Carlsbad Caverns. One of those immense underground worlds that exists in eternal night. Here, darkness isn't visiting. It lives here. It has always lived here. Some of these shadows, the ones in the deepest chambers, have been here since these caves formed millions of years ago. They've never known sunlight, never needed to retreat or hide. This is their permanent home. You expand into the vastness of the cave, feeling the contours of stalactites and stalagmites that formed drop by drop in complete darkness. The limestone formations are like frozen waterfalls of shadow, and you flow over them, around them, through them. There are creatures here too. Cave fish that have no eyes because they've never needed them. Blind salamanders, albino crayfish, entire ecosystems that exist without a single photon of sunlight. They don't miss the light. They don't even know it exists. To them, darkness isn't the absence of something. It's the presence of everything they need. You find a still pool of water in the cave, so perfectly still that it's like a mirror made of darkness. And in this mirror, you see yourself clearly for the first time. You're not just a shadow anymore. You're darkness itself, the same darkness that fills this cave, that fills the spaces between stars, that filled the universe before the first star was born. Moving deeper into the cave system, you discover chambers that no human has ever seen, places where darkness has accumulated for eons, growing thicker, denser, more complete. It's like finding the source of all darkness, the well from which all shadows spring. And here's something beautiful. Even though it's the middle of the day now above ground, even though the sun is at its highest point, beating down with full intensity, none of that matters here. Down here, it might as well be midnight, or no time at all. Time feels different in this complete darkness, slower, gentler, more forgiving. You're learning that darkness has its own geography, its own territories, its own safe havens. The surface world with its cycle of day and night is just one layer. Below that is this vast kingdom of eternal night. A kingdom that doesn't care what time it is above, doesn't care what season, doesn't care whether the sun is shining or clouds cover the sky. But now you feel a pull, a gentle tugging, and you realize that darkness has even deeper places to show you. You flow out of the cave through an underground stream that's heading somewhere special, somewhere vast. The water gets saltier as you travel, and then you understand. You're heading to the ocean. You emerge through an underwater spring somewhere off the coast, maybe near Monterey Bay or the Florida Keys, and immediately you're in a different kind of darkness, the blue-black twilight of the deep ocean. This isn't the harsh, complete darkness of the cave. It's something more mysterious, more alive. As you sink deeper, 20 feet, 50 feet, 100 feet, the sunlight above becomes weaker and weaker. It's trying so hard to penetrate, to reach into the ocean's body. But water is darkness's friend. Each foot of depth steals a little more light, transforms it, absorbs it, until there's nothing left but this beautiful, deep blue midnight. At 200 feet down, you've entered what scientists call the twilight zone. But you know better. This isn't twilight. This is where darkness comes to play during the day. Here, even at noon, it's darker than the darkest night on land. The sun might as well be a distant memory. You're spreading out now, becoming one with this vast middle water, this enormous space between surface and sea floor. And you realize something incredible. The ocean is mostly darkness. Even on the brightest day, 95% of the ocean exists in perpetual shadow. Sunlight only touches the tiniest skin of water at the top. Everything else is yours. Creatures pass through you. A giant squid rises from below, its enormous eyes designed to capture the faintest traces of light. But even those eyes can barely see in this darkness. You wrap around it gently, and for a moment, you are its camouflage, its protection, its cloak of invisibility. Schools of lanternfish migrate through you, each one carrying its own tiny light. But their bioluminescence isn't fighting the darkness. It's dancing with it. They use darkness as their canvas, their light only meaningful because of the dark surrounding it. You sink deeper still, 500 feet, 1,000 feet, and now you're entering the true dark kingdom of the ocean. Down here, it hasn't been daytime for millions of years. The darkness here is ancient, older than the dinosaurs, older than life on land. This is primordial darkness, the kind that existed when Earth's oceans first formed. At 3,000 feet, you're in the midnight zone, and the pressure here has compressed darkness into something almost tangible. You can feel its weight, its presence, its power. This isn't empty darkness. It's full of life, full of mystery, full of creatures that have never known sunlight. A 6-gill shark glides through you, a living fossil that's been swimming through darkness for hundreds of millions of years. Its ancestors knew darkness before flowers existed, before birds, before mammals. This shark doesn't hide from daylight. It simply lives where daylight has never existed. You're part of something vast now. The biggest habitat on Earth. The deep ocean darkness that covers most of our planet. And it's always here. Whether it's noon in New York or midnight in Tokyo, this darkness doesn't care. It doesn't move. It doesn't retreat. It simply is. Jellyfish pulse through you like slow-motion fireworks, their transparent bodies perfectly adapted to this eternal night. They don't need to see. They just need to drift, to feed, to exist in this gentle, constant darkness. You find a whale fall, the carcass of a great whale that sank months ago, and around it, an entire ecosystem thriving in the darkness. Hagfish, bone worms, bacteria that don't need sunlight. They're all here, living their entire lives in darkness so complete that the concept of day is meaningless. Down here, you understand something profound. Most of Earth's biosphere exists in darkness. The sunny surface world that humans know, that's the exception. Darkness is the rule. Darkness is home for most of Earth's living space, and then you feel it. That pull again, calling you back up, but not to the surface. Not yet. Instead, you're being drawn horizontally across the ocean, following something, a line, a boundary. You rise to about 100 feet below the surface, and now you can see it above you, the Terminator line. That beautiful, moving border between day and night. It's late afternoon now on this part of Earth, and the Terminator is approaching, bringing darkness back to the surface. This is one of the most beautiful things you've ever experienced. You're literally riding the edge of darkness as it races across Earth's surface at over 1,000 miles per hour at the equator. You're part of the sunset now, part of that gentle transition that's happening somewhere on Earth every single moment. As you follow this line westward, you watch how surface darkness is reborn each evening. It doesn't come from space. It doesn't fall from above. It rises from below, from the shadows of valleys, from the east sides of mountains, from the forests and the cities. Darkness bubbles up from Earth itself as the sun slides away. You're moving with the Terminator across the Pacific now, watching as darkness reclaims the ocean's surface. The water that was bright blue an hour ago is now deep purple, then black, and you're part of this transformation. You're helping to tuck in this part of the world for the night. Below you, the creatures of the deep are beginning their nightly migration, the largest migration on Earth. Billions of organisms rising from the deep darkness to the surface darkness. They've been waiting all day in the deep shadows, and now that surface darkness has returned, they can rise. They can feed. They can live. You follow the Terminator line as it approaches California, and you watch something beautiful. The shadows of the Sierra Nevada mountains stretch out, longer and longer, reaching across valleys, creating fingers of darkness that eventually merge into the great blanket of night. Every shadow is like a tiny piece of night being born. The shadow of each tree, each building, each person walking home from work. They're all creating darkness, adding to it, helping it return, and you're flowing between all of them, connecting them, weaving them together into the fabric of night. The Terminator line isn't sharp. It's gentle, gradual. It's a zone rather than a line. a place where day and night blend together, mix, dance, and you're dancing in it. Ride in this wave of darkness as it constantly circles Earth. You realize that you're part of something that never stops. This Terminator line, this border between day and night, it's always moving, always somewhere. Right now, as you bring darkness to California, dawn is breaking somewhere over Asia. But that's okay, because darkness is patient. It knows it will return there too in 12 hours. Following the Terminator, you pass over cities, and you watch as humans turn on lights. Millions of tiny suns trying to push back the darkness. But they can't really. They just create more shadows. Every light makes a shadow. Every lamp creates a pool of darkness beneath it. Humans think they're fighting darkness, but they're actually creating more of it. You flow over Las Vegas, the city that tries hardest to deny the night. But even here, between the buildings, under the cars, in the alleys, darkness finds its places. It's patient. It's persistent. It's inevitable. The Terminator continues westward, and you continue with it, across the Pacific, toward Hawaii, toward Asia, toward tomorrow. Or is it yesterday? When you're riding the line between day and night, time becomes fluid, meaningless. There's only the eternal now of this moving boundary. As you ride this wave of darkness, you feel yourself becoming part of Earth's rhythm, its heartbeat, its breath. The planet inhales light and exhales darkness, inhales darkness and exhales light in an endless cycle that's been going on for 4.5 billion years. You're approaching the international dateline now, that imaginary boundary humans created. But for you, for darkness, there's no such thing. There's just the continuous beautiful flow of shadow around the planet, wrapping it, unwrapping it, wrapping it again. And you understand now, darkness doesn't go anywhere during the day. It's always here, always half of Earth. The planet is never fully light or fully dark. It's always both, always balanced, always perfect. Now the Terminator line carries you northward, far northward, and you begin to feel something different. A pull toward places where darkness doesn't follow the same rules, where day and night aren't equal partners. You're heading to the Arctic, to the land of the long night. As you flow over Alaska, over the Brooks Range, past the Arctic Circle, you enter a realm where darkness can reign for months at a time. It's October now in your journey, and up here in Barrow, in the northernmost reaches of America, the sun is about to set for the last time until February. You settle into this Arctic darkness, and it's different from any darkness you've experienced. This isn't the hiding darkness of caves or the deep darkness of oceans. This is darkness that owns the surface, that claims the sky, that doesn't retreat or hide, but simply stays. The Inuit people who've lived here for thousands of years, they understand this darkness. They don't fear it, they embrace it. They have dozens of words for different kinds of darkness. The blue darkness of early polar night, the purple darkness when the aurora dances, the soft gray darkness of a cloudy winter day when the sun stays below the horizon. You're spreading across the frozen Arctic Ocean now, becoming one with the polar night, and it's so peaceful, so quiet. The ice beneath you creaks occasionally, a sound like the earth whispering in its sleep. but mostly it's silent. The kind of silence that only comes with complete darkness. Polar bears hunt in this darkness, their white fur invisible against the snow. Even in starlight, seals surface through breathing holes, navigating by sound and instinct rather than sight. Arctic foxes pad silently across the ice, all of them comfortable in this months-long night. This darkness isn't an absence for them. It's their world, their time. You drift over research stations, little bubbles of artificial light where scientists try to understand this darkness. They study how humans adapt, how their bodies change, how their dreams become more vivid in the constant night. Some of them say the darkness becomes almost alive, that it has weight, presence, personality. And they're right. You can feel it. This Arctic darkness is thick, almost tangible. It wraps around everything like a heavy blanket, protective, warming in its own way. The snow reflects even the faintest starlight, creating a gentle glow that's not quite light, not quite dark, something in between. The aurora borealis begins to dance above you, and you dance with it. You're not banished by this light. You're enhanced by it. The green curtains of aurora only exist because of the darkness. They need you as their canvas, their stage. Without darkness, the aurora would be invisible, meaningless. You realize that up here, darkness isn't just half of the day. In winter, it can be everything, all day, every day, for months. This is where darkness comes not to hide, but to rule, to show its full power, its complete presence. Moving across the Arctic, you feel ancient darkness here. Darkness that's been frozen in the permafrost for thousands of years. When scientists drill ice cores, they're pulling up darkness from the last ice age. Darkness that was here when mammoths walked this land. It's been waiting, preserved, perfect. The Arctic darkness makes you drowsy, even as a shadow, even as darkness itself. There's something about its completeness, its constancy, that invites rest. Indigenous peoples here have always known that winter is for sleeping, for dreaming, for going inward. The long darkness tells them this, whispers it, insists upon it gently. You flow into an igloo, and inside, a small oil lamp burns, the only light for miles. But this tiny flame doesn't defeat the darkness. It just makes a small truce with it. Creates a tiny bubble of warmth and light while accepting that darkness owns everything else. And the family inside, they're comfortable with this. They know darkness is right outside, vast and complete. And that's okay. That's normal. That's home. As you drift through this Arctic night, you begin to lose track of time completely. Has it been hours? Days? Weeks? Without the sun's movement, time becomes suggestion rather than fact. Darkness here doesn't come and go. It simply is. Constant. Eternal. Patient. And now, from this place of ultimate darkness, you feel yourself being pulled to something even more profound, even more ancient. You're leaving the Arctic, but not returning to the cycling world of day and night. Instead, you're being drawn to places where darkness has lived undisturbed since Earth was young. You sink into the ground, but not into soil this time, into solid rock, through cracks so tiny that only darkness can pass. You're entering places that haven't seen light for millions of years, maybe have never seen light at all. Deep in the Earth's crust, there are spaces voids, pockets. Some formed when the rock first cooled from magma. Others opened during earthquakes, shifted during the slow dance of continental drift. These spaces have been dark since they formed. Their darkness is older than complex life, older than the atmosphere as we know it. You're in one of these spaces now, a void in granite 2 miles below the surface. It's been here for 2 billion years, since this rock first crystallized. The darkness here doesn't know about day or night, doesn't know about the sun, doesn't know that there's anything other than darkness. There's water here too, ancient water, squeezed from minerals over millions of years. It's never been part of the water cycle, never been rain or ocean or river. It's always been here, in the dark, carrying dissolved minerals, supporting bacteria that have never known sunlight. These bacteria, they're perhaps the strangest life on Earth. They don't use photosynthesis, they use chemosynthesis, making energy from rock and water and chemicals. They've been living and dying and evolving in complete darkness for billions of years. To them, the surface world with its light and dark cycles might as well be an alien planet. You flow deeper still into spaces between crystal formations. Some of these crystals have been growing in darkness for millions of years, adding molecule by molecule, never rushed by daily cycles, never interrupted by light. Their growth is measured in geological time, and darkness has been their only witness. There are networks down here, microscopic passages through the rock that connect these ancient dark spaces. You follow them, becoming thinner than thought, flowing through solid rock, and everywhere you go, you find darkness that's been waiting. Darkness that's never known disturbance. In some of these spaces, you find noble gases, helium and argon that have been trapped since Earth formed. They've been sitting in darkness for 4.5 billion years, since before the moon existed, since before life began. This is primordial darkness, the darkness that Earth was born in. You're so deep now that the rock is warm, heated by radioactive decay and the Earth's own internal heat. But this warmth has never seen light. It's dark heat, dark energy, the kind that exists throughout most of the universe. Light is the exception. Darkness and heat together. That's normal. These deep, dark places make up most of Earth's volume. The thin skin of rock where light sometimes penetrates. That's just the tiniest outer layer. Inside, Earth is a planet of eternal darkness. Has always been. Will always be. You find yourself in a particularly large void. A chamber that formed when lava drained away millions of years ago, leaving a perfect bubble of darkness in the rock. It's like a womb, completely enclosed, completely dark, completely separate from the world above. And in this darkness, you finally understand the truth. Darkness doesn't go anywhere during the day, because darkness is always everywhere. Light is just a visitor, a temporary guest on the surface. Darkness is the host, the permanent resident, the foundation, even in your own body. Right now, as you listen, most of you is darkness, inside your bones, your organs, your brain. Darkness lives permanently. Your thoughts emerge from darkness. Your blood flows in darkness. Your dreams are painted on darkness. The earth itself is mostly darkness. The solar system is mostly darkness. The galaxy, the universe. It's all darkness with just the tiniest sprinkles of light. Stars and planets, and moons making their small, bright statements in an infinite dark sea. And this darkness you've become, this darkness you've been traveling through, it's not empty, it's not absent, it's full. It's full of possibility, of rest, of peace, of the quiet that allows everything else to exist. You begin to feel yourself rising now, slowly, gently, up through the rock, through the soil, through the underground waters, carrying with you the knowledge of all these dark places, all these sanctuaries where darkness lives. You're rising toward the surface now, but moving slowly, so slowly. And as you rise, you begin to see the whole pattern, the whole beautiful design of how darkness moves around our planet, how it tucks in one side while unveiling the other, like the world's most gentle caretaker. It's evening somewhere above you. You can feel it. That sweet time when darkness is beginning its nightly return, and you flow up to join it. To be part of this tucking in, this putting the world to bed. You emerge through grass, through flowers closing their petals for the night, through the spaces between leaves that are already starting to fold inward. You're seeing it all now, understanding it all. Darkness doesn't retreat during the day. It just takes turns. While the sun shines on America, darkness is tucking in Asia. While Europe wakes, darkness is pulling its soft blanket over the Pacific. It's always bedtime somewhere. Always that gentle hour when shadows grow long and merge into night. The tucking in metaphor? It's perfect. Because that's exactly what darkness does. It starts at the edges, the shadows of mountains reaching across valleys, the shade of trees stretching further and further. Each shadow is like the edge of a blanket being pulled up, 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 until everything is covered. Everything is safe. Everything can rest. You watch a neighborhood being tucked in now. First, the east sides of houses fall into shadow, then the gardens, then the streets. Porch lights come on, but they're not fighting the darkness. They're just night lights. The way children need a small light to feel safe while the great darkness holds them. Birds return to their roosts, settling in for the night, and you wrap around them. You're their blanket, their safety, their signal that it's time to rest. Their chirping quiets, their breathing slows, and one by one they tuck their heads under their wings, surrendering to your embrace. Children are being tucked into bed, and you're there too, pooling in the corners of their rooms, soft and gentle. You're not scary. You're familiar, comfortable. You've been tucking in children since humans first existed, since the first parent said, "Sleep tight" to the first child, and that phrase, "sleep tight." You understand it now. It means sleep wrapped in darkness, held by it, secure in it. The darkness makes everything tight, close, safe, like being swaddled, like being held. You spread across a city park and watch as it transforms. During the day, it was bright, active, full of motion. But now you're making it quiet, peaceful, yours. The grass looks different in darkness, softer somehow. The trees become mysterious, full of whispered secrets. The pond reflects stars instead of sky. Nocturnal animals are emerging now. Raccoons and opossums and bats. They've been waiting for you all day. waiting for their world to return, and you welcome them, embrace them, become their time, their space, their freedom. You realize that you're not just covering the world, you're transforming it. Every place becomes different in darkness. A busy street becomes quiet. A harsh landscape becomes soft. Even the air feels different, cooler, gentler, more forgiving. The moon is rising, but its light is nothing like the sun's. It's darkness's friend, darkness's companion. Moonlight doesn't banish darkness. It dances with it, creates silver edges while leaving deep shadows, makes the darkness visible, beautiful, mysterious. You flow over farmland, and the crops are sleeping. Actually sleeping. Plants have circadian rhythms too, and darkness tells them when to rest, when to stop reaching for light and start processing the day's energy. You're tucking in millions of corn stalks, wheat fields, apple orchards, telling them all, rest now, tomorrow will come, but now, rest. The whole earth has a night side. Always. At every moment, half the planet is tucked in by darkness, wrapped in it, held by it. And this has been happening every day, every single day, for billions of years. Darkness has never missed a night, never failed to tuck in its half of the world. You think about all the places you've been tonight. The caves where darkness lives permanently. The deep ocean where it never leaves. The Arctic where it rains for months. The ancient spaces in rock where it's been for billions of years. All of these are part of the same darkness. The same gentle force that tucks in half the world every night. And humans. Humans are the only creatures that resist being tucked in. The only ones who create artificial light to push back bedtime. But even they can't win. Eventually, always, they must sleep, must surrender to darkness, must let themselves be tucked in. You're feeling drowsy yourself now, even as darkness, even as the one doing the tucking in. There's something so soothing about this rhythm, this constant, gentle circulation around the planet. This knowing that you're always somewhere, always tucking in some part of Earth, always providing rest to some corner of the world. The darkness you are, it's getting softer now, quieter, more diffuse. You're spreading thin, becoming less like a being and more like a feeling. The feeling of being tucked in, the feeling of surrender, the feeling of rest approaching. You can feel all the sleeping things now, all the creatures you're holding, all the plants you're telling to rest, all the children you're watching over. Millions, billions of living things, all tucked in by darkness, all held in the same gentle embrace you're providing, and you understand completely now. Darkness doesn't go anywhere during the day. It's always here, always half of everything, always waiting, patient and gentle, to tuck in whatever part of the world is ready for rest. It doesn't hide. It doesn't retreat. It simply moves, flows, circles, like the world's most devoted caretaker. Never tired, never hurrying, always perfect in its timing. And now, gently, so gently, you're beginning to return to yourself, to your own body lying in your own darkness. You're still a shadow, but you're becoming your shadow, the one that's always with you, the one that knows you completely. You float down, settling back into your room, back into this specific darkness, this particular night, And you bring with you all the peace of all the dark places you've visited. The caves, the deep ocean, the Arctic night, the ancient voids in rock. They're all here with you now, all part of the darkness that's holding you. Your shadow self merges back with your body, and you feel the weight of your blankets. But they're not just blankets anymore. They're part of the great tucking in, the same force that's covering half the planet right now. You're being tucked in by the same darkness that's tucking in forests and oceans and mountains. The darkness in your room. It's ancient. It's the same darkness that was here before your house was built, before humans existed, before Earth formed. It's visitor darkness from space and Earth darkness from below, all mixed together in the gentle space around your bed. And if you're still awake, still drifting with me through this cosmic night, that's perfectly beautiful. Sometimes the journey through darkness is so peaceful we don't want it to end, and that's okay. If you'd like, there's another story waiting, another gentle voyage through the mysteries of space and time. Just let it play. No need to move, no need to decide. Just let the next adventure carry you deeper, deeper into rest. The algorithm knows what you need. Trust it. Let it guide you further into the darkness. Or maybe you're already drifting, already being pulled down into sleep, and that's perfect too. Exactly right. Exactly what should be happening. The darkness is so patient, so gentle. It doesn't mind if you're awake or asleep. It holds you just the same. Thank you. Thank you for joining me on this journey tonight, for becoming darkness with me, for discovering where it goes during the day. You know the secret now. It doesn't go anywhere. It's always here, always half of everything, always ready to tuck you in whenever you need rest. The darkness around you now. It's getting thicker, heavier, more complete. Your breathing is becoming the breathing of someone almost asleep. Slow, deep, peaceful. Each breath takes you deeper into darkness. The darkness you now understand. The darkness you've traveled through. The darkness you are. Your thoughts are becoming shadows themselves. Soft, quiet, drifting. They don't need to be sharp anymore. Don't need to be clear. They can be gentle shadows, moving slowly through the darkness of your mind. You're being tucked in by the entire night side of Earth, by all the dark places that exist beneath the surface, by the deep ocean that never sees light, by the polar nights that last for months, by the ancient darkness in rocks that are billions of years old. All of it is here. All of it is holding you. All of it is telling you to rest, sleep now, sweet friend. Let the darkness hold you. Let it carry you into dreams where you can continue exploring, continue discovering, continue being the shadow that knows all of Earth's secret dark places. Good night, sweet dreams, and remember, darkness doesn't go anywhere. It's always here, always waiting, always ready to tuck you in, just like it's tucking you in right now, deeper and deeper and deeper into the most peaceful sleep. The darkness whispers one last thing, barely audible, barely there. I'll be here when you wake, and I'll be here when you sleep again tomorrow. I'm always here, always, always, always. And with that whisper, you let go, completely, finally, perfectly, into the gentle, eternal darkness that has been waiting all along, just for you. just for this moment, just for this perfect, peaceful sleep.